Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to DiscussionVerse and to the road to 500 subscribers. I am back to go over really exciting news for a new film that just began production for the recently started DCU cinematic universe from Warner Brothers and James Gunn. With production for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow officially starting just 2 days ago and a lot more announcements made for this project, I have a ton more to go over here. Not only will this movie adapt one of the most unique and acclaimed Supergirl stories, but it's also going to be a key part of the upcoming Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters and the wider DCU narrative that's being carved out here. Though before I get fully into this is your friendly reminder to smash that like button, leave a comment, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please help me get to that 500 subscriber mark. That would be greatly appreciated. Alright, so first things first, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is based on the graphic novel of the same name written by Tom King and illustrated by Bilquis Evely. This story is a huge departure from the typical Supergirl narratives that we're used to. Instead of focusing on Kara Zor-El trying to prove herself as a hero in Earth's environment, this story takes us across the galaxy in a much darker, more personal adventure. The plot itself follows Kara, who's traveling across the stars to celebrate her 21st birthday with her loyal companion, Krypto the Superdog. Yes, you heard that right. Krypto's in this, and that's already a win in my book, especially considering that we're going to see Krypto with Superman 2025, and that comes out in July, which is in a couple months. So I'm excited to see how this interconnects in the overall DCU narrative. Though within this story, things take a turn when she meets Ruthie, a young woman on a mission of vengeance. Ruthie wants to track down the man who killed her father, and although Kara is on a planet with a red sun, rendering her powerless, she still decides to help Ruthie take down anyone who stands in their way. Now, this story at its core is a character study. It delves deep into Kara's inner world, exploring her bravery, her toughness, and importantly, her vulnerabilities. She's a young woman who's been through a lot, and the story is all about her growth, both as a hero and as an individual. It's one of the most powerful Supergirl stories in recent memory, and it's been praised for its emotional depth and layered portrayal of Kara. Though I personally believe that the film is moving in the right direction by adapting this particular story, as it will also allow them to showcase how there's a difference between Supergirl and Superman. James Gunn even recently talked about this contrast himself, where he quoted saying, "Superman was sent to Earth and he was raised by incredibly loving parents, whereas Kara was raised in Krypton. She was on a piece of Krypton that drifted away from the planet and lived there for the first 14 years of her life among a horrible situation where she watched everybody around her die." Gunn ends the quote by saying how she's a much harsher and more effed up Supergirl than we've been used to this far. Because she's somebody who's seen the worst of the universe and struggled to survive, this makes for a more complex, tougher, and at times a more jaded version of Kara Zor-El. It's a really interesting shift and one that makes Woman of Tomorrow stand out in the larger DC universe. As for the cast, we've got some pretty exciting names lined up. Millie Alcock, who's most famous for her role in House of the Dragon, will be stepping into the role of Kara Zor-El. Reports go on to say that she actually beat out 2 other actresses, that would be Emilia Jones and Meg Donnelly, for this part of Kara Zor-El, and she's got a lot of hype surrounding her take on the character. Kara is going to be portrayed as a very different kind of Supergirl in this film, one that's brave, fierce, but also dealing with a lot of self-doubt. I definitely feel that she's a great choice to bring Supergirl to life and to showcase that nuance that's going to be needed. Joining her is going to be Eve Ridley as Ruthie, who is the young woman that is seeking vengeance. So her performance is going to be key here in showing the dynamic that's between Supergirl and Ruthie as they form that unlikely bond throughout their dangerous journey, and one that requires a course for vengeance. Sitting in the villain role is going to be Matisse Schoenaerts, as reported by Deadline. He's going to be portraying Krem of the Yellow Hill. Krem is the main antagonist that Supergirl and Ruthie face on their quest, though the really big news was the recent announcement for Jason Momoa being in the film as Lobo. Yes, Lobo will be a part of this film, and that is huge news. Momoa is best known for portraying Aquaman in the previous DCEU universe, but it's always been known and said that Momoa is the perfect casting to play the intergalactic bounty hunter known as Lobo himself. It's pretty much like saying how Ryan Reynolds was the perfect actor to portray Deadpool. It's just written in stone and it needs to be seen on screen, and finally we're seeing it. And yes, this was actually confirmed by Jason Momoa himself on his own Instagram and social media. This is also a major signal that James Gunn is going to be embracing the fun and weird side of the DC comics, and Lobo fits perfectly into that vibe. It is going to be really interesting to see how Lobo is used for the story with Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, since it is already a pretty tight-knit story itself, and I'm curious as to where Lobo would actually fit and how they want to use him in this movie and in the grander scheme of the DC universe that they're paving out now with Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. Though that really falls into the hands of the creative team that's behind this film. Now that's gonna include Craig Gillespie, who's most famously known for directing I, Tonya. He's been tapped to bring Woman of Tomorrow to life. Gillespie's work is known for its sharp character focus, and it looks like he's going to bring that same emotional intensity to Kara Zor-El's story. The script itself, which James Gunn has spoken really highly of, was written by Anna Noguera, a writer who Gunn has described as, quote, amazing. He's expressed his excitement over her work on the adaptation, calling it above and beyond anything I hoped it would be. This gives us high hopes that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow will not only be a visual spectacle, but a deeply emotional and well-crafted story. I'm very excited to see her adaptation of Woman of Tomorrow and also see how she incorporates a character like Lobo, considering that his character was never originally a part of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow. So I'm excited to see, with all the praise that she's getting, just how she's able to bring the story to life itself and introduce new characters and bring that into this world of the DCU universe, because we are already seeing big world building being done with Creature Commandos and of course with the upcoming Superman movie. This leads me to my next point, as it's important to see here how this isn't just another standalone DCU film. It's going to be a key part of the larger DC universe, as it's set within Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, and it's currently one of the 2 live action adaptations that are currently filming. The other projects that's currently filming right now is the Lantern show that will be dropped on HBO Max once it finishes up, and that's a very exciting show to look forward to as well. Though for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, it's definitely shaping up to be one of the more unique stories in this chapter. It's not just about the hero's journey, it's about understanding the hero herself and what makes her tick, which should be a refreshing take on Supergirl for both fans and newcomers alike. You can absolutely expect this movie is going to be a cosmic and emotionally charged adventure. Supergirl is going to face not only external battles but internal ones as well, and with Lobo and a strong supporting cast, this film has the potential to be one of the more standout films in the DCU's first chapter. This is the Supergirl we've never seen before, a hero who's both powerful but flawed, brave but uncertain, and willing to do the right thing even when the odds are stacked against her. And with a team of talented filmmakers and actors behind it, I have no doubt that this movie is going to be a game changer for not only the character of Supergirl herself, but for the DCU as a whole. That about wraps up this video for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, as I do not want to dive into any spoilers for this great and fantastic comic. I do first recommend that you guys go find it, buy it, pick it up, read it, or get the audiobook, whatever you guys want to do, or just find the spoilers online. Regardless of how you do it, that'll help you get prepared for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. But before I go, please share your thoughts down below in the comments on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, or even comment your thoughts on the casting down below. Of course, smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, then turn on that notification bell so you guys never miss a new video. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.